A very good afternoon, people. Vanakkam, Sat Sri Akal, Kemcho, Kubbalo. Outside, it's not so Kubbalo with the coronavirus situation, but in the IPL, it is really tense, folks. Every team has played 2 matches. We are now heading into double digits. Sunday is the first double header of IPL 2021. But before that, a small trailer before the mega double header. Mumbai Indians versus Sunrisers Hyderabad. 2 teams at the opposite ends of the spectrum. Mumbai at least have a win against Kolkata Knight Riders. Sunrisers Hyderabad have nil. They don't have any wins. For the first time in history, there is a possibility that Sunrisers Hyderabad might lose 3 games on the trot. They have never lost 3 games in the starting 3 games on the trot. Against Mumbai Indians, ironically, there might be a bit of a chance. Why? Sunrisers Hyderabad have an even head-to-head record against the Mumbai Indians. Shocking? Not really. 8-8 after 16 games. The last match between Mumbai Indians and Sunrisers Hyderabad saw the Sunrisers thumping Mumbai Indians by 10 wickets. This is the IPL, folks. Anything can happen. But in the last 2 games, Sunrisers Hyderabad have been oh so close. 10 runs and 6 runs. It will hurt. David Warner did say after the end of the RCB game, it will hurt. Will it hurt them more when they take on MI? For that, sportslumo.com, I am Siddharth Vishwanathan and Arnab Mukherjee, and we are here to preview Mumbai versus Hyderabad. So Mumbai, kase ahat. Arnab, feeling good after Mumbai Indians won against KKR? They are back on track?
Oh yeah, certainly. I mean, Mumbai Indians have always been very popular for being able to pull off a comeback in the most toughest of circumstances. And the previous game against KKR, I mean, defending 31 runs from 30 deliveries, that's an indication of the confidence in the camp. And, Rohit Sharma's command over his players, how he's able to get the best out of them in any scenario out there. Because I think even the most diehard and ardent of MI supporters, they would not have expected a triumph in that kind of a scenario. I mean, many of us would have thought of a consolation win for KKR out there with Andre Russell and Dinesh Karthik present. But then I guess this is the MI spirit, and that is what makes them the defending champions. What a brilliant performance, I would say. The confidence in the camp would certainly be sky high, and they'll be looking forward to the rest of the matches for sure.
Indeed. I mean, Mumbai Indians, how can a team needing 31 of 30 with 7 wickets in hand still lose? Learn from KKR. How to defend? Learn from the Mumbai Indians. Common trend, folks. Mumbai Indians lose the first game, they go on to win the title. True story. They lost the first game, they are on course for 6th title now. That is how dominant the Mumbai Indians can be when the tournament progresses. Normally, teams suffer a dip in momentum as the tournament progresses, but not the Mumbai Indians. On the other hand, Sunrisers, perennially punching above their weight. They are like the New Zealand of world cricket. They perennially punch above their weight. But here, they have started off disastrously. 2 games, 2 losses, 2 games that they should have won, but they collapsed. 10 runs and 6 runs is heartbreaking indeed. Arnab, do you think had those collapses not happened, Sunrisers would have been on top of the table rather than at the bottom?
Yes, certainly. I mean, if you see the 2 games that they played, they were certainly close affairs. Against the KKR, just a defeat by 10 runs. Here or there, if a good performance from David Warner would have been the case for the first game against KKR, then certainly they could have, ended up on the right side. But especially when you consider the game against RCB, it was especially heartbreaking for SRH supporters, I would say, because the manner in which they collapsed, it was certainly, completely against the beliefs that the team holds. They have always been a fighting team, and they punch hard to get the victory against the toughest of circumstances. Because if you see the 2016 edition, they had a similar core and build up to the team, a similar look to the side. But then that team was the team of warriors, and that is the same, belief that has been instilled in the minds of the players currently also by the management. So to see them, conceding a defeat in this kind of a scenario, it will certainly be a cause of concern for the team management and the fans themselves.
It is very heartbreaking. I mean, Mumbai Indians are a thorough unit. They bat from 1 to 7. It's assured. They have class bowlers. Sunrisers Hyderabad still don't seem to have the composition right, and they're reliant on 2 or 3 individuals. Rashid Khan, Johnny Bairstow, David Warner in particular. their overseas composition also seems to be a problem. Whether you pick Kane Williamson's injured, but if he's fit, do you pick him? That is another conundrum altogether. It is very interesting to note that Chepauk is the venue where it is the antithesis of the IPL. You struggle in the death overs, batting first or by batting second. In the death overs, the common trend for all teams has been collapses in the death overs. Mumbai Indians lost 7 wickets for 40 odd runs against KKR. Mumbai Indians again collapsed against Royal Challengers Bangalore. Sunrisers lost quite a few wickets against Royal Challengers Bangalore. Shahbaz Ahmed, 3 wickets in 1 over. That turned the entire game around. I don't know, do you think teams will have to change their mindset? I mean, should they go big in the power play and then play cautiously in the death overs? Or do you think if a batsman is set, they can go big in the death overs? I'm sorry.
I think you have to take a look at how the squad composition is and how they go about selecting the playing 11. You have to ensure that you have got a couple of experienced players out there who are, capable enough to handle the pressure that a ground like Chepauk brings to the table. Because if you see the Chennai Super Kings and MS Dhoni, his love story with Chepauk, the manner in which he, used to lead CSK on to triumphs on such a pitch, that's something I guess it will be appreciated even more now, considering the manner in which teams have collapsed. So certainly teams have to adopt a very open outlook, and they need to take into account the fact that it's going to be very difficult for them to, go for a big finish in the death overs on a ground like Chepauk in comparison to some other ground basically. So a couple of experienced batsmen out there, and yes, Kane Williamson should get a chance, especially considering the middle order woes out there. I think Jason Holder could be benched for such a game considering the issues in the middle order, and Williamson's experience, his maturity, they are very, very necessary considering the conditions at Chepauk out there.
I mean, it's a very dire situation, I may say. I mean, you cannot accelerate in the death overs. Kolkata Knight Riders in that game against Sunrisers, they had already made 145 in 15 overs. So despite the late overs collapse, they still made 180, 190, which is still fair enough. But it's been observed, every game that has been played in Chepauk, when the ball gets softer in the death overs, it becomes difficult to score, you lose wickets. Andre Russell himself said that getting your eye in the death overs, especially when you come to the crease new, is very, very difficult indeed. But Arnav, do you think this is a contest of chalk and cheese? I mean, Mumbai Indians are such a settled lineup, and they've got class all the way from number 1 to number 11. Whereas Sunrisers Hyderabad are dependent on a couple of individual performances. Do you think heading into that match, that itself is a major disadvantage?
Well, I wouldn't say so. I believe SRH have got the fine composition themselves. I mean, that's true that they are a bit reliant in the batting department on Warner and Bairstow, but then you have got some proven performers in the bowling department. So the gap between MIE, certainly they have got a lot of match winners out there, a really good lineup that basically selects itself for every game out there. And Rohit is, he's got a certain amount of confidence in the players on the back of consistent performances. That's certainly an indication of how strong MIE are, but I wouldn't rate SRH low when it comes to the lineup because they have got some match winners out there. And if the middle order woes get sorted out, I mean, somebody like a Kane Williamson, if he gets included maybe at the cost of Jason Holder, then certainly they will, wear a way more balanced look out there.
Do you think SRH are doing a mistake? Sunrise Hyderabad are doing a mistake by not opening with Warner and Bairstow? Because Wriddhiman Saha is opening with Warner, if I'm not mistaken. Bairstow and Warner were your keys in 2018 and 19. They set the platform, even in 2020. But now they are asking Bairstow to be in the middle order. Do you think that is a mistake that Sunrise Hyderabad are doing? I mean, separating your ultimate opening combination, but then ensuring that the middle order has a buffer. Are they making the mistake of making Bairstow a floater when he's genuinely an opener?
Well, that's a requirement of the team, I would believe. Of course, Warner and Bairstow, they are an excellent opening pair out there. But Saha, if you consider the last season, the game the fantastic performance before he got injured, that's an indication of what he brings to the party when he's set out there. So Bairstow, of course, coming in the middle order, that's the requirement because if you see the collapses out there, then Warner and Bairstow, they will be, perhaps feeling guilty about going out there and opening, considering the manner in which the team loses the, game mentally when it comes to the middle order. So with somebody like Williamson, not getting selected, it's even more important for Bairstow to go and be present in the middle order, so that there is this bit of solidity and somebody who can shoulder the responsibility if Warner gets out. So I think you have to go for a mix and match in this kind of a scenario, and that's basically how a team operates, I would say.
But is Manish Pandey now becoming a liability for Sunrisers Hyderabad? Because you saw he was unable to accelerate in the game against Royal Challengers Bangalore. His strike rate seems to be pretty low. Of course, ignore the fact that many players have said strike rate is overrated. KL Rahul's statement might haunt him. But is Manish Pandey not able to be the glue that Sunrisers Hyderabad want in the middle order?
I think Manish Pandey, we have to look at it from his point of view as well, because if he goes for a big shot and he gets dismissed, then the middle order, it gets, it's completely out in the open for the opposition to exploit at every stage. So Manish Pandey must be feeling the need to stay out there and ensure that he's present till the death overs, so that a chase can be completed with him at least at one end. It's not going as per plan, like you rightly mentioned. His strike rate is a big area of concern. But then, last season, KL Rahul, he was quite defensive as well. And Wasim Jafar, in an interview with a media portal, he said the reason behind that was the poor form of experienced campaigners like Maxwell, who were expected to perform but were not, going and getting the job done in the middle order. So Manish, maybe he's facing that pressure to go out and ensure that there is at least one big name waiting to shoulder the responsibility. Because if you see, barring Manish Pandey, you have got somebody like an Abdul Samad, you have got Vijay Shankar. Vijay Shankar, I see him getting dropped because he's neither bowling the overs and neither he's able to, go and get a job done with the bat. So, of course, there are several other issues out there which the media needs to highlight, and this is one of them, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, the likes of Abdul Samad, Abhishek Verma, the under 19 stars in particular, they have not yet stepped up, although it is too early for them still, I believe, to step up in such a high pressure situation. But the choice now, see, Rashid, Bairstow and Warner select themselves. The final overseas spot rests on Holder, Williamson and Mohammad Nabi. Looking at the condition, I mean, I'm now coming to the playing 11, the pitch conditions and all. Do you think Williamson is needed if fit? Or if Williamson's not there, does Nabi hold his place or does Holder maintain his spot?
I would go with Williamson at least till the point of time SRH get a bit of stability in the middle order, because the manner in which they have been collapsing, it's certainly clear out there that the middle order is a massive area of concern. And you need somebody like him to go out and get the job done. Because if Holder is not present in the lineup, then you have got other players like Bhuvneshwar Kumar, T. Natarajan, Rashid Khan, who are well capable of being match winners on their own day. And if any of them have been watching Deepak Chahar in action recently, especially the previous game against Punjab Kings, then maybe it will, be a source of inspiration and motivation for them, seeing the young pacer going out and breaking such havoc out there.
But I think Sunrisers Hyderabad are in the wrong venue. Their bowling attack would have been superb at the Wankhede, with the sluggishness, with the two-pacedness, the swing that has been generated. Chepauk, for them, it might still prove to be decent with the likes of maybe Rashid, Mohammad Nabi and Shabaz Nadeem. Still, they can view their magic around. But at the end of the day, I would say that against Mumbai Indians, where they've got all bases covered, they will have to pull off something sensational. I mean, Warner will have to play the innings of his life. Remember, Warner is on the cusp of becoming the first player in history to hit 50-50s. He's the only player to hit 50 plus 50 times. So he is, in a way, a legend of the IPL, in the league of Virat Kohli, in the league of Chris Gayle, in the league of Suresh Raina and Rohit Sharma. The only overseas player to make an impact, apart from Gayle. So Arnab, final question to you. Which team is winning and why?
I would go with Mumbai Indians because they have got momentum on their side, and the match is going to be played at Chepauk. So they have already got, a bit of motivation out there and confidence, having pulled off such a brilliant performance against the Kolkata Knight Riders. SRH, they'll be hurting, and they would have loved to play on some other venue in comparison to Chepauk, but then that's how the league is working out. They will have to face the demons at the Chepauk, and this could very well, result in a defeat out there against the composed unit like the Mumbai Indians.
Yes, I think heading into the match with 2 consecutive losses, I think Mumbai Indians are the favourites, but SRH have never lost 3 times. So they will have that determination to say, let us get on the board. And on any given day, I mean, if Warner sets the tone, then Sunrisers Hyderabad can very well upset the apple cart. It is not out of sheer coincidence that Sunrisers Hyderabad are the only team to have an even head-to-head, let alone a positive head-to-head, an even head-to-head record against the Mumbai Indians. So it would be great if the Sunrisers Hyderabad managed to topple the Mumbai Indians, but on paper and on current form, with the momentum that they acquired against the Kolkata Knight Riders, it seems very, very hard for the Mumbai Indians to lose this encounter. So even my vote goes to the Mumbai Indians. Unfortunately, Sunrisers Hyderabad fans, sorry. Very, very sorry. That is all we have from Sports Lumo here, folks. Do join us for more IPL updates, more breaking news, more features. The tournament has just begun, folks. Tomorrow is the doubleheader. Stay safe, stay fit, and until then, subscribe to the Sports Lumo for more videos. Thank you.